we've got Sean Kukuruzovic, who is going to talk about how he evolved CRM from manual into tons of fun. Please welcome Sean to the Think Summit stage.
Sweet. So I'm Sean Kukuruzovic, Senior Manager of Commercial CRM for Fanatics Sportsbook. And today we're going to talk about our personalization bet, how we went from manual to scalable and gamified over the span of, let's call it 2 years. So what we were up against, 200 plus active promotions available on a given day. To promote all those offers would take about 10 hours per build. And really not scalable. No time to really kind of learn what's going on. Operational overhead was very unsustainable. Zero bandwidth, test and improve. Have the manual workflow here. We're all familiar with that. Pull the promo list, grab our user data and segment manually, build the email content, QA each variant, send, and then, if time allows for it, quick performance analysis. The real cost wasn't the 10 hours. We were stuck in a loop. So when you're too busy to build, you're too busy building, you can't really measure, you can't learn, and when you can't learn, every campaign starts from zero. So what we really didn't have time to focus on, no message optimizations, subject lines, send times, offer types, all untested. Gave it our best guess, and it worked pretty well, but never got built for a next iteration, take it a step forward. Didn't have a ton of user insights on what our users were behaving. No reads on what segments responded to what. High-value users and casual users got the same message, and very little personalization beyond the basics. And then most importantly, no channel optimization, really kind of going all in on all channels, hoping for the best, and really kind of making mistakes as we went. So once we brought Movable Inc. onto the scene, we dropped our 10 hours per campaign build to about 1 hour per campaign. And then this also reduced the amount of actual campaigns in our ESP from 15 to 1, also streamlining everything. We saved about 90% of our time with this for the same output quality, and this is really just kind of the beginning. Once we got our time back, we really got our curiosity back. So we were able to test, learn, iterate, and just kind of do standard CRM practices here. The 9 hours recovered is just perfect for strategic capacity. So kind of what we started first is message optimization. Does how you say it matter more than what you offer? So being narrative-led, offer-led, World Cup's happening, we can tell you about the match, or we can tell you about the offer you can use. User behavior. Are our high values interacting with comms differently? Are they being overserved or underserved? Had no insight, and this allowed us to kind of figure that out. And then lastly, are we reaching the right users at the right moment? It's all what we're trying to do here. And finally able to compare performance across these channels. Question we're testing, is email the right surface for this audience, or are we just sending to send? Once we finally were able to look at all of this data, we kind of realized that we might be sending through the wrong channel, going all in on email, not focusing on mobile first, and as a sports bettor, they're very mobile-led users. They're on their app, they're on their phone all day long. They're constantly getting news, tips, whether that's from ESPN, a Twitter, etc., but they're on their phone. So we learned very quickly that we need to scale back email, focus on push, in-app message, inbox, because that's where our users were. But with Movable Inc., we didn't start over. We were able to translate all of the effort we put into email through into our mobile use cases. So Movable Inc. is very great at kind of allowing you to set rules, save them, and repurpose over and over again, and that's what we did, whether it was fan cash personalization, first name personalization, live odds, dynamic offers. We had all that infrastructure in place, and as we moved into mobile, it was very easy to take those 15 campaigns, 15 strategies we had, and duplicate them across from email into push, in-app, and inbox, all within about 30 days of unlocking mobile through Movable Inc. And once we had this, we were able to start testing like we had something to prove, because we did. We really didn't have any visibility into how things were doing up until this point, just sending messages based on kind of what leadership, brand, marketing team was looking for, not really what was valuable to the sports bettor. And once we were able to take a step back with the time savings Movable Inc. provided, we can now focus a lot more on kind of how these messages work. And so quick example here, telling someone they have an offer versus telling them they have a cool opportunity to bet during, whether that's a last-minute goal scored, a last-minute injury before tip-off. Sending out those messages drove a 95% increase in our click rates. So starting to learn something, we're trying to get a better feel for what we're doing, and we're learning pretty quickly. And what we learned next is first name balance isn't enough. It's all about timing and relevance. So how can we take the tools Movable Inc. has to build out personalization and make it real-time triggered? Doesn't require the human in the loop to send that button at that time. And what we also learned throughout this is personalization always drives engagement, but what happens if we add it on top of a winning moment? This was like the real unlock for us. It kind of combined behavioral and contextual triggers and contextual messages that arrived at the exact moment the user needed. We did this through our in-play comms, whether that's leveraging a custom API source. For us, that is our live odds. Bet notification messages using real-time event data, or just general fan cash reminders before a major playoff moment. All of these things did extremely well for us and started to paint a picture that we need to do this more and cut back on traditional like email marketing. Where we kind of got to next, Movable Inc. has a lot of very cool, customizable gamification mechanics, and we thought that was the next big source, whether it is scratch to reveal, live polls, or using like dynamic carousel in-app messages. Our users love games, and we need to bring more games into CRM. So at this stage, we've rebuilt our email efficiency. We've pivoted all of our resources to mobile. We proved personalization works. Next step here is the interaction of it. And through this, we started with scratch to reveal as it's the easiest out-of-the-box solution, and then kind of introduced more tactical executions. So, oh, they're not playing. It's supposed to be videos there. But to kind of talk you through it, the leaderboard is a great example. Running home run hitters, and then you have a place on app to track who hit the longest home run. We see users who engage with this leaderboard are coming back day over day to now bet on baseball more and more. We've used live polls as a promotion mechanic in and of itself. So log in, make a fake pick using a live poll, and then if you guessed it correctly, we would reward you with some fan cash. As we all strive to do, value statements. We've did these in email previously, and they worked really well, but now we moved them into in-app to show users where they are at the time they want to see it, and then carousel in-app messages, being able to show users multiple different pieces of content in the same screen session. Oh, there they go. But to keep it going, once we kind of entered gamification, we really went all in on scratch to reveal, and this was like the big break or make moment for us. Ran a mechanic last March Madness where users would place a bet during the tournament, and they would share a prize of fan cash if their bet won or lost. When we were crediting this fan cash, we're like, why not just do a scratch to reveal, tell everyone we've credited their fan cash, go check out the app, and then let the scratch reveal kind of be the moment that they experienced. And when we did this, we didn't expect it to go this huge. It was blasted all over X for that 24 hours after we sent out the comms. We ended up trending on X because of this, and it was really cool to kind of see the creative, see a concept make its way from idea to now we're trending on X just from a one simple in-app message campaign. And they kind of keep going off of that. Oh, there it goes. Recap kind of what we talked about. So everything started off as manual. 200 plus promos, 10 hours per campaign, low reporting visibility. Every send, educated guesswork, zero bandwidth to improve. Very, very impossible to work like this in scale as a business. Fanatics was new at the time, and we needed to make a splash very quickly. And Movable Inc. allowed for this. So once we had the integration for email, We reduced it, saved 9 hours per campaign, allowed us time to learn, and we made the mobile pivot. The mobile pivot was really the most important part for us. Once we figured out this, we were able to do a lot more, a lot quicker, because less creative needs, less prep time to get something built out, just really allowed us to run wild with it. And once we realized that live odds, real-time triggers, and any contextual messaging worked, it was how can we take that to the next level through gamification. And leaderboards, live polls, carousels, scratch to reveal, it's all great tools, but it's not necessarily the message you're sending. The message becomes the experience here, and getting users to experience stuff and just clicking around in your app will lead them to make a bet, make a purchase, whatever that may be. But each phase unlocked the next, and Movable Ink was the constant across it. We changed ESP platforms during this, but Movable Ink was always consistent in how we wanted to operate. We're still early. That's kind of really exciting. There's tons of stuff we can do and ton of insights we're hoping to get out of Think Summit this week. But where we're thinking is how do we deepen our behavioral triggering? We need more real-time data going into Movable Ink to leverage off of it. AI is a big thing we're pursuing, so how can we get assisted personalization at scale? Kind of like what DaVinci does, but across pretty much everything we want to send at any moment. And then lastly, cross-channel journey orchestration. So it's really the main next step. We figured out which channels kind of work well, but we haven't figured out how those channels can interact with one another yet. And so once we're able to start testing this, we'll be in a great spot kind of going into the years to come. And to wrap up, they come to us to make bets. Now we're making better ones on them. Every campaign is a hypothesis. Every test is a bet. And with the right infrastructure, we're finally in a position to win more than we lose. And Movable Ink gave us time to think, then the tools to act, then the data to prove it. But yeah, thank you for attending.